It's 11:58 p.m., and you're staring at everything you promised yourself you'd finish today. But instead of getting started, you unlock your phone, just for a minute. A minute becomes midnight, and another day quietly slips away. You close the notebook and whisper the same words you've said countless times. The next morning arrives, but your motivation never seems to wake up with you. Without thinking, you silence the alarm, choosing comfort over action once again. Before your feet even touch the floor, your attention already belongs to your phone. Your goals are still there, exactly where you left them yesterday. You tell yourself you'll relax for just a little longer before getting started. But time doesn't wait. It keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. Outside, other people are already taking the first step you keep postponing. Finally, you open your laptop, convinced that this time will be different. Then one notification appears, and your plan disappears with it. Even your coffee gets cold while you're still preparing to begin. Days slowly turn into weeks, and weeks quietly become months. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the work, it's facing yourself afterward. Before you realize it, evening has returned, and the cycle starts again. Once again, the clock is almost midnight. It feels strangely familiar. You point to tomorrow, believing that's when your real life will finally begin. But if tomorrow always stays tomorrow, when does your future actually start? You know exactly what you want to become, but knowing has never been the problem. Every time you reach for your work, something easier pulls your attention away. One short video becomes 10, and time disappears without making a sound. The first step suddenly feels much bigger than it actually is. From where you're standing, the entire journey looks impossible. So your mind starts imagining the finish line instead of the first move. And the more you think about everything, the less likely you are to begin anything. Ideas keep filling your head, but none of them become reality. Instead, you convince yourself that getting organized is productive enough. You clean the desk, arrange everything perfectly, and still avoid the real task. Checking off tiny, meaningless tasks feels good, but it changes nothing important. You spend hours learning how to be productive, instead of actually producing something. Your notebook fills with plans, arrows, and ideas, but not with action. Your fingers reach the keyboard, then stop before anything happens. Because starting means risking failure, and your brain wants to avoid that feeling. The funny thing is, the door has always been open. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side, not years away, but one decision away. When you look in the mirror, you don't see your future, you only see today's habits. Meanwhile, the hourglass keeps emptying, whether you move or not. Eventually, you realize the biggest pressure wasn't time, it was waiting for the perfect moment that never came. Another day is gone, and all you can do is tear another page off the calendar. Soon, the days begin to blur together until weeks disappear before you notice. Looking back, you realize how many opportunities quietly slipped away. The seasons change, but your routine stays exactly the same. Autumn arrives, yet your notebook is still waiting for its first real page. Winter comes, and you're still telling yourself you'll start soon. Spring returns, but your dreams haven't moved an inch. The notebook isn't difficult anymore, it's simply become a reminder of everything you've avoided. Hours continue disappearing into your phone without leaving anything meaningful behind. Comfort slowly becomes your daily routine, even though it never makes you happier. The entertainment ends, but the guilt always stays a little longer. Another sunrise becomes another sunset, and the cycle repeats itself again. At some point, you stop losing days, and start losing years. Time never stops moving. The only question is whether you're moving with it. So once again, you write one familiar word. Tomorrow. Eventually, tomorrow covers every wall of your life. Then a simple thought hits you: what if tomorrow never arrives? Every decision becomes a choice between temporary comfort and the life you actually want. For the first time, you take one small step away from comfort. And that's the moment everything quietly begins to change. Instead of waiting for motivation, you simply sit down and begin. The first word appears on the page, and suddenly the task feels possible. One tiny checkmark doesn't look impressive, but it's more powerful than another excuse. Because progress doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from showing up. For once, the phone isn't the most important thing in the room. Your attention finally belongs to the work that actually matters. Minute by minute, focus becomes easier than distraction. Another task is finished, and your confidence grows with it. Small wins begin stacking into something you can finally see. Now walking toward your desk feels natural instead of exhausting. The alarm rings, and this time you don't hesitate. You silence the alarm and leave the phone exactly where it is. A new morning doesn't change your life, your habits do. Every day starts becoming a little easier than the last. Page after page, the notebook slowly fills with real work. Those finished pages become proof that you're no longer the same person. Looking at the calendar finally feels satisfying instead of painful. The phone hasn't disappeared. It just stopped controlling your decisions. The work that once felt impossible is now simply part of your routine. And all of it began with one decision: to start before you felt ready. Looking at the past no longer fills you with regret. It reminds you why you finally changed. Every single day, life offers the same two choices: comfort or growth. This time, you don't even think about it. You walk straight toward your goal. The hardest part isn't finishing the work anymore, it's deciding what to build next. Another completed task isn't just progress, it's another promise you've kept to yourself. And with every promise you keep, your confidence quietly grows. The first step that once terrified you now feels surprisingly small. You finally reach the top, only to realize it all started with one tiny decision. Looking back, the beginning was never impossible. It only looked that way from a distance. Consistent days always beat perfect days. Every single time. Your notebook isn't filled with talent. It's filled with days you refuse to quit. The distractions are still there, but they no longer decide how your day ends. Time finally feels slower, because you're actually living it instead of escaping it. Every finished page makes starting the next one a little easier. Real growth is almost invisible, until one day everyone else notices it too. Just like a plant, progress doesn't happen overnight. It happens every single day. Keep showing up, and one day you'll realize you've become someone completely different. The results were never created in one moment. They were built through hundreds of small ones. Success doesn't begin with confidence. Confidence begins with action. And the person looking back at you now is proof that starting was worth it. One day, you look down at your notebook and realize every small step added up to something real. Today is finally different, because you stopped waiting for tomorrow to save you. The word tomorrow loses its power the moment you decide to let it go. Excuses belong in the past, not in the life you're building now. So write one word that actually matters. Today. Because today is the only moment where your future can actually change. Don't wait for motivation. Take the first step, and let action create it. Every step forward makes the next one just a little easier than the last. Soon, you'll look back and realize the hardest part was simply getting started. The sunrise doesn't reward people who plan, it rewards the ones who move. Your progress won't be perfect, but perfection was never the goal. Finishing today gives you something tomorrow never could: peace of mind. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens the person you're becoming. And one ordinary morning, you'll realize this new version of you feels completely natural. The life you wanted didn't appear overnight. It grew from small actions repeated every day. Keep taking care of your habits, and they'll quietly take care of your future. One completed day may seem small, but hundreds of them can completely change a life. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Your future begins with the step you take today. Close this video, put your phone down, and start now. Your future self will thank you.